All right. So today being the 16th day of January, this is Euro USD. Something happened earlier today while I was trading. So I feel like sharing it with you guys on here as a purpose for this video. Now, as you can see the chart, we've been selling off at this point here, but price went bullish for kind of retracing into this supply zone. I gave this analysis out this was it on Sunday here before the week started. So we're actually focusing on the sell because price already mitigated this level of supply from the 30-minute time frame. Now we go over to the 5-minute time frame where because that is the time frame where I normally do enter my trade zone. I'm kind of the lower time frame kind of trader, like intraday trader, and I do follow some predefined rules, which are some mechanical pattern in trading. Now, look at it here. So I'm going to use the replay tool to cut from this part where price already mitigated the 5-minute supply. Now, like on the 30-minute time frame, which is the higher time frame, when price did mitigate a level of supply from the higher time frame, we're looking for going short because we can see the reaction after price mitigated this level of supply here. It kind of moved downward aggressively and kind of mitigate this level of demand here from 30 minutes to maybe retraced further. But I was sticking to the sell because fundamentally we are still bearish on the Euro USD. Now, this trade actually followed all of my plan because number one, the higher time frame we're looking is bearish, and on the 5-minute time frame, this was the Asian range, and price kind of swept the Asian high liquidity. Now it did mitigate this level of supply here after sweeping the liquidity at this point here. Now this is kind of my entry type one model I did use towards the keep uh trade. Now, waiting for further confirmation. At this point here, I was only waiting for price to give me a final confirmation to sell this trade because I was kind of looking for an engulfing candle to enter this trade. Now, let's play it out, and I'm going to explain what happened on this trade. Now, you can see at this point here, price was just being messy after it did mitigate this level of supply here, waiting for price to engulf this movement here and kind of execute this trade. And our target was this liquidity, this sell side liquidity at this point here. Now let me play this a bit further again. And here price after the retrace a little bit of retracement to the upside. Now it did engulf at that point here. That was where I executed the trade today. And my stop loss was just set at this point here. And my target was at this level of liquidity here. Now on the norms, this trade was supposed to, play out very, very nicely because all confirmations have been made. Higher time frame was bearish, and uh, my 5-minute time frame price did used my type one model, and there was nothing holding me back to execute this trade. So as soon as I executed the trade, this was what started happening. Price became slow. Now you can take note of this demand here on the 5-minute time frame. Now I'm going to go over to the 1-minute time frame so to make it more clear for you guys. Now on the 1-minute time frame, remember my previous video was how to manage your trade. It is very, very important you know how to manage every trade you run. So as soon as we executed this trade, this was what happened. Now I was expecting price to give some level of retracement from this demand here. Now, but I wasn't expecting it to have that strong form to make this trade run a loss, that is continue to the upside. So we're only waiting and see how this goes out. Now this was what happened. Price started going into that stop loss zone. Now, if you take a look at this, remember I told you when you execute a trade, you need to wait for another low to form. All right, you need to wait for another low to form. Now let me see something here at the 5 minute time frame. I think the mistake I did today was this. Okay, yeah, let me show you guys. Now, as soon as this when price retraced to the upside, it kind of moves a little bit and went up to the side. And because of how price was being slow at this entry point, I kind of moved my stop loss from this point here onto this point. And the broker I do use, the prop firm I trade on, when price did this movement here, it kind of hit me out. It stopped me out, which that had to give me some loss in the market. Although I was hoping this would have run to profit, but it didn't. So this was what happened after price hit me out with this little bit at this point here. Now it did this thing. So that was what happened today on Euro USD. It kind of made this demand zone not no longer relevant. So we kind of spotted this level of supply again for a re-entry, but sticking to the plans, I took a position on USD and I also took a position on GBP USD. So I kind of this gave me a little bit of loss, and that of GBP USD. I will show you what happened there. So I didn't want to, kind of open another position when this was in place. So at this point here, I was stopped out with a little bit at this point, and this was what happened. Price went to my direction. Playing this further, price we traced back into the level of supply there, and you know, continue thing to downside. You can see how I got stopped out, and this trade was a 1 to 4, very nice trade. I got stopped out at this point, and finally price went into my direction. Now, all I have to say on this trade is you shouldn't be too fast to move your stop loss. Now, if you take a look, price there isn't any much difference here. I should have left my stop loss to the zone it was. Yeah, I should have left it there. So, but I kind of moved it a little bit because price action wasn't looking nice during the entry point. Although we gave a nice confirmations to execute this trade, but at that time, price was being slow and kind of consolidating at my entry point. So I had to move my stop loss a little bit. So that was how I got stopped out on this beautiful trade. I could have made 4% on this trade. Now let's go to GBP USD. Now, okay, same thing, same analysis, but this one here, kind of following my type entry type 3 model. So after price mitigated this level of supply here on during the Asian section, this was London section. All right, I was kind of training the London section. Price did mitigate this point, this level of supply after mitigating a 30-minute supply zone. Now I was aiming for this first liquidity here and this second one here, but this was what happened. This was what happened. I got stopped out also. When I did execute this trade here, I also took a re-entry on this trade. Let me delete this. Okay, let me delete this one and so on. Explain something for you guys. Now, where when price did mitigate this level of supply here, I had to execute this trade. Although this was a very, very strong move to the downside. But I did execute this trade because it met to all my confirmations. So price it moved down a little bit and kind of was playing along this entry. So price I had to move my stop loss again. Let's go to the 1 minute. So I'll explain that for you guys. Now this one after price kind of created this lower low here, right? I because price was still messy around this level of entry here. I had to move my stop loss to this point here, and I got stopped out. After I got stopped out, price just did its thing to the downside. So the lesson learned: you shouldn't move your stop loss too early. You shouldn't move your stop loss too early. All right, and that hasn't even really given us a lower high. Lower high haven't yet formed. This was a lower high when it did a lower low here. This was a lower high, and this was another lower low. This was the time I was supposed to move my stop loss to break even. Now, if you take a look well, you'll see that there was this. Let me delete this one. You will see that this one also there was a fair value gap at this point here. There was a fair value gap, all right, where after price did this move to the downside, it traced back into the fair value gap, and I also find a re-entry into this trade, and I entered from this kind of here, and my stop loss was set to this point. Now I will show you how I would have avoided this loss again. Now price did move down until this point to sweep this first take profit here, which was this liquidity. Now, at the end of the day, it kind of bounced around this entry point again and stopped me out. Now, if I had set my stop loss to as in the fair value gap, the top of the fair value gap, I wouldn't have stopped out. Though price was still playing around this entry point, and most of the time, I don't like leaving my trade open during this time because price can be very crazy. Now, this was the second take profit here, or you can target it at this point for a 1 to 2. Now, you can see here, price did play out nicely. Um, this was what happened. This was what happened. Look at it. This was what happened. That was how I I had loss for today's trade. So the lesson for this is that do not move your stop loss too early. All right, do not move your stop loss too early. Moreover, I it hasn't really created any lower low, lower high for me to, give me confirmation to manage my trade. But because price was too slow at my entry, I had to move my stop loss. So that was a lesson. That's something I really want to share to you guys. All right, because I found out that with a lot of trade, I experienced this also. So I will see you on the next one. Peace out.